Good evening, guys, and welcome to tonight's video. So I want to talk tonight about a concept that I came across a few weeks ago, which I thought was really interesting. Got it from a guy called Martin McDonald, who I am looking into a lot. I do a lot of listening to him. I think he's awesome around nutrition, etc. Recommend checking him out. And he talks about dieting and sort of a different way of looking at it. So what he says basically is that there are two sort of phases of dieting. So you have the dieting phase where you're cutting weight, and the lifestyle maintenance phase where you are keeping that weight off. Okay. Now, I just want to make a side note. Whatever you decide to call it, a lifestyle change, a healthy eating plan, a diet, if you are in the process of losing weight, you are dieting. Otherwise, you're not losing weight. Okay. So whatever you decide to call it, you are dieting. Dieting is just a restriction of calories. So you are in a phase of dieting. Okay. Now, what most people I see sort of say about this is like the diets don't work. But the thing is they do, because if you have lost weight, the diet has worked. That is the goal and the goal of the diet. And what has failed, if you put the weight back on, is the maintenance phase and the lifestyle phase, which is a different phase to dieting. Now, what a lot of other people will say as well is if you do a diet, you just end up putting all the weight back on when you eat normal again. But the thing is, you don't. You only put weight back on if you eat too much. It's nothing to do with how you got down to the weight. It's a different phase. It's the maintenance phase. So it's different to the dieting. So, it doesn't matter how you dieted down. If you eat in your maintenance phase sufficient amount of calories, you will not put weight back on. It's just because you've dieted down doesn't mean you put weight back on when you eat normally, unless you eat too many. And again, it's a different phase, okay? Now, there's actually really no evidence to suggest that people that lose weight slowly fare better long term than people that would lose weight quicker, okay? And sort of what he talks about as well is, there are some benefits to losing weight quicker. Probably the biggest of all is motivation and adherence. If you're seeing fast results, you are more likely to stick with it and more likely to keep going. Plus, the dieting phase in general is stressful. It is painful and stressful to both you psychologically and the body physically. And the longer that you spend dieting, the more your body can adapt down. And let's be honest as well, diets are restrictive. In some way it is restrictive, and people will say, yeah, but you shouldn't really be restrictive. But the thing is, if you are losing weight, you have to be restrictive in some way. You can't eat whatever you want in as much quantity as you want. In some way, you do need to be restrictive. So if you can get down to your goal weight quicker and maybe start introducing these foods in greater quantities, or maybe because of how you are personally, you had to cut things out more. If you can get these back in quicker and get down to your goal weight quicker, that is a huge plus, a huge motivation and, bonus for adherence. So the main thing I want you to take from this is that diets do work. If you have lost weight, the diet has been successful. If you have put the weight back on, it's not the diet that's failed, it is the maintenance phase that has failed, okay? And sort of how he summarised this really well was that diets only have to be sustainable for the amount of time that it takes you to get to your goal weight. After that is a different phase, and we're talking about a maintenance phase. And that let's be honest, that is what people mainly struggle with. Most people normally get down. They normally eventually get down to the weight they want to get to, or close. What they struggle with is keeping it off, and that is a separate kettle of fish, okay? Now, I do want to make a disclaimer on this. This does not give you the green light to go out and eat 200 calories a day and lose 15 pounds a week and just be stupid about it. You have to be sensible, and I'd like to think that is common sense. However, what I do want to say is that slow weight loss is not necessarily better, and fast weight loss is not necessarily worse. What it is, as always, just do it for you. What works better for you? you know, because it's different for different people. People may like going slow and steady because they prefer to be less, because obviously you're going to have to be more restrictive if you go faster. So they may prefer that, but it's different for different people. And as always, if you get stuck, ask for help. And, you know, that isn't a plug. You know, you don't have to ask me. I'm more than happy to help people. You know, if people send me a message, I'm more than happy to respond. But that doesn't mean you have to ask me. Just ask somebody if you get stuck. You know, don't feel like you have to do this all on your own. But again, what I want people to get out from this is that diets do work because they help you to lose weight, and putting weight back, no matter how quickly you diet down, that has nothing to do with how much weight you put back on afterwards. What determines how much weight you put back on afterwards is your maintenance phase, okay? And that is different to the dieting phase. So hopefully you've got a bit of value from that. I thought it was a very interesting way to look at it. Again, it's personal to you. Do what works best for you, as always. And the only person that knows what works best for you is you.